Good morning, everyone, to this very blustery Sunday, and definitely good morning to those at home. I'm sure there are many. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Grand Traverse. I am Renee Russell. I'm from the Sunday Services Committee, and it is a joy to gather with you both here in the sanctuary and online. Here at UUCGT, we like to say that whoever you are, however you arrived today, you belong. We welcome all ages, identities, abilities, backgrounds, and stories. And to the families with young children among us, we're especially glad that you're here. We practice the spiritual art of curiosity, even when things get a little noisy or unexpected, like blustery snowstorms on a Sunday morning. The sounds of children remind us that this is a living, breathing community. Whether this is your first Sunday or one of many, we're grateful you chose to spend your morning with us. If you're visiting today, we would love to meet you, and if you are comfortable, you're invited to stand and introduce yourself. One of our volunteers will bring a microphone so everyone, including those joining from home, can hear you. And if you'd rather just enjoy the service quietly, that's perfectly fine too. Do we have any visitors this morning? Any brave visitors? That's okay. If you're newer to UUCGT, we'd love to say hello during our coffee hour, and we look forward to meeting you when you do come if you're visiting from home. Later in our service, we'll share our joys and concerns. You're invited to write yours in the book to your left, or you may light a candle of your own at any time. We do have some announcements this morning. Hearing devices are available near the tech desk. You can also use your hearing loop system by setting your hearing aid or cochlear implant processor to the telecoil mode. Your endowment committee has arranged for free estate planning workshops at UUCGT on Thursday, December 4th, at either 1 to 3 p.m. or 4 to 6 p.m. If you'd like to set your affairs in order and plan your legacy, please reserve your space. To learn more about estate plans and documents and how to avoid probate, planning for long-term care, and charitable and legacy gifting strategies, attendees will be able to sign up for a free 1-hour consultation with CG financial planners following the event. So you can sign up via the RSVP in the flash that's gone out, or you can leave a message at the office. And please note that reservations for the estate planning workshops must be submitted tonight. Reservations are required so that the financial planners can prepare information packets for each registered attendee. We need to know if that we'll have enough people to attend to justify these financial planners traveling in from Lansing just for us. And if too few register, the workshops will be canceled for tomorrow. Anyone registered will be notified if it is canceled. So if you have not registered already, you can definitely still sign up. Dave Newhouse is here. You can check in with him. And again, you can sign up via the RSVP in the flash or give a call to the office. Help us decorate for the season. This Saturday, December 6th at noon, the Sunday Services Committee invites you to bring a little holiday sparkle to our sanctuary and hallways as we put up our holiday trees. All are welcome. The UU orientation happens next Sunday, December 7th, right after the service. Learn about Unitarian Universalism, our congregation, and how to get more connected. Just a few more to go. Our Under One Roof matching challenge has grown to $22,500. We still have a bit to go, and you can watch our progress on the big thermometer in the social hall. Matching ends on Giving Tuesday. Congregation member and local artist Bill Allen has generously donated the original artwork, now on display, to support the Together Under One Roof campaign. Take a stroll through the gallery and scan the QR code for more information. Mr. Fred will be playing this Friday, December 5th at 6 p.m. for a beautiful UU, I'm afraid I'm going to say this wrong. Taizé, thank you. Taizé service here in the sanctuary. And then on Friday, December 12th, there's going to be a community holiday sing-along here as well, so get ready for that. So now let's settle in. I invite you to take a deep breath and let the rest of your week just fall away for a little while. Please silence your phones and electronic devices so we can be fully present to one another. And now, let us worship together. Our centering music is A Place in the Choir by Bill Staines, performed by the UUCGT.
The whole title for the song is All God's Critters Have a Place in the Choir. And we're going to ask you to sing along with us.
Please.
Please. This is the chorus, and that's what you'll hear first. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or pause or anything they got now. Listen to the bass, it's the one on the bottom where the bullfrog grows. The hippopotamus moans and groans with the big to-do. And the old cow just says moo. Come on, everybody. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands and paws or anything they got now. Dogs and the cats, they take up the middle, and the hummingbird hums and the cricket fiddles and the donkey brays and the pony neighs and the old coyote howls.
We've all got a place in the choir, right? Whoever you are and wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here with us this morning. I'm Reverend Alex, a minister here at UUCGT. I use he and him pronouns. And as we settle in for this second annual service on the theme of making disability visible, I invite you to hear these words by the late activist, storyteller, and disability advocate, Alice Wong, who died only a couple of weeks ago. These words are titled, "Determined to Share Our Truths." She writes, "I believe that storytelling and media are forms of activism. Culture change is hard, and we have to have more than stories about us and by us to show the world our wisdom, innovation, creativity, and brilliance. As a writer and editor, I am determined to share our truths, prophecies, and warnings with the world, especially those created by marginalized disabled people, because our wisdom is vital. I create and amplify stories in order to change the culture and provide more richness to how we think and feel about disability. I didn't want to tell our stories in an attempt to humanize us or gain empathy from others, because we don't need to prove our humanity or worth. We are not a monolith. We are complex and ever-evolving, and I want my work to be a part of this evolution. Able-bodied people have a role in unlearning ableism and being co-conspirators in helping us build a world centered on love, liberation, and interdependence." So let's just hold Alice Wong in gratitude this morning as we gather and worship together.
light the chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, please join me in reading our mission words found on the back of your order of service. Grounded in love, we protect the web of life by building beloved community, making good trouble, embodying radical love, engaging in lifelong learning. And now, let us sound the singing bowl, entering a time of stillness.
Would you please rise in body or in spirit and join me in singing this morning's opening hymn, number 100, found in the gray hymnal, I've Got Peace Like a River. We'll be singing through verses 1, 2, and 3. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a river, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like the ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul.
Good morning. I have no children to talk to. This has never happened to me before. Hi, Kat. Thanks, friends. Man, I love y'all. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Okay. This has never happened to me before. Oh, I'm so grateful for all of you. Hi. Blessed be. It is Advent season. And we are UUizing Advent this season. We are paganizing Advent a little bit this season. But it felt important to honor it this year because what is Advent if not sitting in the darkness and waiting for hope? And man, we all need that this year. I don't know about you all, but I could use some hope right now. So we're going to make an Advent calendar this morning, and I'm going to ask my friends up here to help me. So our Advent calendar is actually going to count down to the solstice instead of Christmas Eve this year. So we're going to change it up a little. But our Advent calendar is also not going to be the traditional wreath with the candles. We're changing it up. So our Advent wreath is actually going to be an Advent spiral. And I don't know how well everyone can see it from where they are, but I will show it momentarily. But I want us to think about what does the spiral represent, and where do we see spirals in nature? Spiral is one of the most common shapes or motifs in nature. So what are some examples of where we see spirals in nature? Anyone can answer. This doesn't have to be just for my friends up front. Whirlpools, snail shells, pine cones, ferns, cinnamon rolls. Yes! Amazing. It's my favorite kind. Oh, that's so good. So spirals are super common in nature. Spirals are, they evoke themes of balance, direction, initiation, centering, expanding, awareness, connection, journeying, and development. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to settle our bodies a little bit this morning. And you can either choose to do this on your hand or on your leg, wherever feels comfy, but I want you to trace a spiral shape, and we're going to go inward and inhale, and then come outward and exhale. So trace in spiral and then out spiral. So inhale, and then exhale as you move outward. We'll do that a couple more times. Tracing inward and outward. And inward and outward. So each turn of the spiral is an invitation to deepen. We return and return again to the things we thought we understood and receive deeper understanding and healing. So for our Advent spiral, I'm going to ask my friends up here for some help. We can kind of pass this around. I have to count out 20 stones because I think I have more than 20. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good news, guys. Your DRE can count. All right. So I'm going to ask my friends up front. I kind of traced a spiral in the sand that hopefully you can follow, but if not, we can work together to just help me. So we start in the center. So this is an Advent ritual that I found from some friends on the internet. That you start in the center with a dark colored stone because it represents the darkest night of the year on the solstice. And then you move outward. So as we go around the spiral, we move outward and add our stones. So if you all could help me add our stones and create our spiral on there, that would be beautiful. And then each day of Advent, or each day leading up to the solstice, the intention is to take one stone off each day and replace it with a candle. And then you light your candle each day. And it's a really beautiful ritual to welcome in the light. So as your spiral goes inward, you invite more and more light in. And what do we need if not that right now? So as we go out, we will add all of our stones, and then I'm going to add our tea light for the last one for our first Sunday of Advent. And we're also going to learn a new song. So Anne-Marie, if you would like to teach the new song as we do that, we're replacing our children's song for the month of December / the last Sunday of November for the Advent season with a new song because we thought it just felt really fitting because it's about light.
So this is our newest hymn from the new virtual hymnal that was released in September. So I'll sing it through once, and then you're welcome to join me on the second time. This one's a lot simpler than our November hymn to learn. May I be light in you, may you be light in me, into our hearts, into our souls, let love abide. May I be love in you, may you be love in me, from this place out to the world for all time. May I be light in you, may you be light in me, into our hearts, into our souls, let love abide. May I be love in you, may you be love in me, from this place out to the world for all time. Thank you.
Thank you, my friends.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. The alarm goes off, and I lay there, breathing. Never rested, but still here, taking stock. The impulse to drift back into the quiet void where there is no chronic pain, no blood pressure swings, no migraines, and no other myriad issues attached to long COVID is enticing. But I see there's a message from my sister already now, and I'm stuck in the loop of deciding if I should put my own air mask on by first attending to my own required morning health routine, or call her first to take the edge of worrying about her needs off my plate for a little while. This is how my day usually begins. It's a daily exercise in compassion. My older sister, Nikki, who's 50, 1 year older than me, has early onset dementia as well as Down syndrome. Currently, her biggest struggle is short-term memory loss. I call her Dory in my head, like the sweet fish in Finding Nemo, because it helps me to lighten up something that is very heavy, and because they have very similar personalities. Nikki lives in an adult foster care home. This is her choice and her heart's desire, as she is an inherent social butterfly and needs peer social stimulation to thrive. But unless you can afford a place that has highly trained staff, which my family and most average Americans cannot, you get care that is well-meaning but not trained to meet the needs of those aging with intellectual disabilities. So my mother and I, as her guardians, are her daily backup team for all needs outside of daily meals. And now, with her inability to remember what is happening from hour to hour, we also hold the key to her sense of safety by continuing to orient her in time and space. To say this is exhausting is an understatement. My mother is in her mid-70s, and she has been a full-time, all-the-time mother since my sister was born. She is bone-deep tired. Unfortunately, most of the time, so am I, due to my mitochondrial deficiency. My cells simply never fully recharge. But you wouldn't know this to look at me, as people tell me all the time, "Well, you look so good," as if that somehow should make me feel better, and doesn't send the message to me that they think I am either lying or overreacting. Let me just say no one has ever said that to my sister. When your disability is visible, there is immediate acceptance of your needs, though not necessarily compassion for them. Disability is hard, and it just makes people uncomfortable in all its forms. Mostly folks just don't know what to do to be of support, and it's easier to assume someone else has a handle on the situation. And life is hard. We each have our own challenges. So why would we want to take on someone else's struggles? This is a reasonable feeling. Unfortunately, though, disability does not exist in a vacuum. I was born 15 months after my sister. We were essentially raised as twins. Nikki leaned on my developing cognitive and physical skills to guide her own progress, and I leaned on a playmate who mirrored everything back at me, and it helped me to discern who I was and find strength in my own convictions. We moved through the world together, and we still do. Advocating for her made my world better, as her growing access to people and places and experiences broadened my options as well. Our community has several amazing local organizations that support those with disabilities and broadens their and our world. Organizations like Special Olympics, organizations like the Grand Traverse Industries, which provides job training, supported employment, and day programming for those with intellectual disabilities. There's Brickways, which provides supported and independent housing for those with disabilities. And there's the Disability Network, which provides community action and community supports. When you support these organizations, you are not only supporting the individual, you are having a cascading effect on their family members who are struggling with the mammoth, never-ending job of providing a safe and fulfilling life for their family member. These services have allowed my mother and I to have some help, and also allows us to be active and contributing members of society. It should be of no surprise to you then that these organizations are in danger of losing their funding due to the current administration's changes, especially to Medicaid. So I encourage you to reach out to any of them, and they will tell you how you can advocate for them or how you can volunteer. When folks do take an interest in my health, they often wonder what they can do to help. Getting involved in these local organizations makes a huge impact. My sister's struggles and needs sometimes make me feel like I'm drowning, as if there is no room for me to focus on my health when her needs are so great. As someone who has lived intertwined with another's needs since birth, I can tell you it is a daily challenge to find balance, and compassion is my daily mantra. For me, for my sister, for my anger and frustrations, for my sadness, and for those who have disappointed me by maybe not being there the way I'd hoped. But my request would be to always lead with compassion and then move to action, which means taking a breath when you feel uncomfortable in the face of disability. Be compassionate with yourself. Disability is scary and it can be uncomfortable, but in the end, it affects you as much as it does me. We all want to be seen and believed and supported. Thank you. So now we'll move to our offering. It is a privilege to sustain a congregation such as this, not just for today, but for the weeks, years, and generations to come. Our stewardship honors our ancestors and invests in our children, in one another, and in the wider circle of humanity. As a self-governing and self-sustaining community, we receive no outside funding. We rely on the generosity and commitment of those who find meaning here. Together, we are strong enough, wise enough, and generous enough to help this beloved community thrive. Today, ushers will pass baskets with two sides. One side supports the life and mission of the congregation. The other supports needs in the community, including local food programs, shelters, and services for those most vulnerable. Recently, the board has decided to earmark a portion of the For Those in Need side of our offering to support social justice work in our region. Our offerings truly reflect our shared UU values in action. So you can also give by mailing a check to the congregation, giving online at uucgt.org, using the Venco mobile app, or donating via Venmo. If you give by check, online, or through an app, please note in the memo line or comment field whether your gift is for your pledge, for your community needs, or for a special collection. This helps us honor your intentions and ensures your gift is used exactly as intended. Every gift, large or small, is received with deep gratitude. May we give in love and hope, and may our offering today sustain the life and mission of this congregation and the good we do in these walls. Thank you.
name is Kelly McIntosh, and my story about making disability visible, I'll start out with the fact that every time I go outside in the cold, damp air, I lose my voice. So this is one example. Why is it so difficult for some people to understand that a person can have a disability that can't be seen? I doubt that many people would consider a lack of energy to be a disability. However, when that situation lasts for years, it can't be considered anything else. During my late 60s, I worked 12-hour shifts in the ER. I used to run upstairs 2 at a time. I could work circles around nurses half my age. But things changed drastically when I got COVID. Now when people ask how I'm doing, and I tell them what's going on in my life, they often say, "But you look so good," as if how I look is an indicator of how I'm feeling. I'm going on 5 years of a variety of tests and treatments, and though things have improved somewhat, I have lost so much of my strength from a lack of activity. I have had heart damage and need to continue on cardiac medication. I'm still suffering from an impaired immune system, and the long COVID has led to chronic fatigue syndrome. My energy level has not improved, so I'm forced to limit my activities. I feel like I'm living only half of my life, and I am so fortunate that I don't have a family depending on me. I don't leave my house unless it's a necessity, and then only once or twice a week. I try to take my dog, Bonnie, for a half-mile walk every day, weather permitting. This is something I force myself to do just to get a little exercise, but it's not easy. If I close my eyes while she is busy sniffing all around someone's mailbox post, I feel like I could fall asleep standing along the side of the road. When walking, it feels like I have a 100-pound chain link cape over my shoulders. Friends often ask me to go out for lunch or to go to the movies. They don't understand that when I spend half of my life sleeping, my functional hours are limited. During my waking hours, I'm struggling to keep up with life. There isn't time for socializing. And when I push myself to try to do more, my heart starts acting up again. I'm also grateful that my doctor told me not to let anyone make light of this. It is a legitimate disease. Just because no one knows how to treat it doesn't mean it's not real. Just because I don't have an obvious injury doesn't mean I'm not having difficulty. When I'm overly tired, everything hurts. It's like the body aches when you have the flu. When I go to bed at night, I have no idea how much sleep I will get. I'm usually in bed for 11 to 12 hours. Even if I sleep for most of that time, I never wake up feeling rested. The force of gravity seems unusually strong as I drag myself out of bed, and I often have to take a nap to make it through bedtime. Sometimes headaches are so intense that they wake me up from a sound sleep and are so bad that I can't get back to sleep without taking pain medications. And then there's the brain fog. This was so bad that I talked with my doctor about the possibility of my having dementia. I have to schedule activities that may require a detailed thought process. There's no way I could balance my checkbook later in the day. About 3 or 4 p.m., a cloud drops over my brain and my energy level crashes. When friends see me, they always ask, "How are you feeling?" After months of constantly going over my symptoms, I've just started saying, I have good days and bad days. The response is usually something like, but you look so good. I think this is usually meant to be a compliment, but after all these years, what I hear is, well, it can't be that bad because you look too good. This makes me want to avoid being around all but a few select people. So when someone tells you how they're feeling, believe them, regardless of how they look. And now we'll get on to what I think is going to be mostly positive stuff. It's our practice as a religious community to set aside time in our service to name and honor the joys and concerns that mark our lives, the milestones and moments of our lived experience. I will be sharing the joys and concerns that have been offered up for us to hold in our hearts as we are gathered today. If you have a joy or concern that's a bit too heavy to share, I invite you to reach out to Reverend Alex or to a member of the congregational care team. You can identify us by the purple ribbons on our name tags. I care, and I know we have a couple of us here today. Can you just raise your hands? No? Okay. You can also light a candle at any time during the service or honor your joy and concerns during the stone meditation, knowing that you are held in the loving hearts of this community, for none of us is meant to travel life's journey alone. Here is what's been shared with our gathered community. Online, we have a concern from David Love, who is dealing with unexpected financial issues. So please hold David on your hearts. And a joy from Kim Gravy. We are delighted that our new grandson, Finn, was born to daughter Allie and husband Sean on November 21st. After initial 8 days in neonatal intensive care, Finn came home yesterday to his adoring sister Elowen, and of course, both sets of grandparents. They are all in love and awe. And then there's one in the booklet. Thanks for a joyous harvest gathering last Sunday under the supervision and direction of Mark and Veronica Dragovich. And I'm sure all of you that were there feel the same way. And now let's hold a moment of silence for the joys and concerns that remain in the silence on our hearts.
Now is the time where I'll invite you to come forward if you'd like to participate in our stone meditation. As you feel moved, feel free to come forward and take a stone and place it in our bowl of water here.
would you please join me in singing our song of response, Spirit of Life? Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
I want to make sure the microphone's in the right place. Okay. And I want to encourage everyone to do that. But I wasn't being performative, I really meant it. I'm Cindy Shapiro. This is my friend that I brought up with me, a very wonderful, smart woman named Dory Bernstein, who has 3 invisible medical conditions that are autoimmune and chronic pain and gastrointestinal. And while she's running Zoom for temples in Omaha and New York, she's also crocheting these adorable critters. She doesn't know she's up here with me. I'll tell her later. Okay, so I've used up most of my time, right? I'm still on my, excuse me. I got so caught up in the service I didn't put on my own talk. It's really here. Okay. Cindy Shapiro, I use the pronoun she. There's so many things I want to say. I could spend my whole time prefacing what I'm going to say with background information. But I do want to add one little sort of pun or play on words. We know that this is a visibility service. I came from Thompsonville, where visibility had a whole new, different meaning, driving. And it wasn't all of Benzie County. It's like the African Queen. I canceled my Thanksgiving and going to Benzonia from Thompsonville. They had barely anything. In any case, so visibility, it was an ironic reminder, you know. So a little background. I gradually became hard of hearing / late deafened starting at age 18 during my first semester in college by way of an illness involving a high fever, a severe allergic reaction to tetracycline, incorrectly prescribed for what was diagnosed as a virus while going through academic and family stress. and where the maternal genes were prone to later onset, gradually increasing deafness, which, do you know what that's called? Progressive. Progressive deafness. So I'm not just a progressive, you know. Let's launch into some specifics of my experiences that hinge on this teetering, kind of like a, I don't know, a skateboard or something, or what's that thing that goes like this on a, it's yeah, whatever, I'm not hearing you. I turned off my telecoil to hear, okay. So in any case, one of my prefaces is that I am not trying to educate people about the Americans with Disabilities Act. This just isn't the place. I don't want this to be, what I do say, to be a substitute for what are our rights since 1990 under George Herbert Bush. Not that he gets all the credit, but that's when it happened. And so I'm speaking subjectively and on some small issues. But they don't feel small. By the way, the accommodations that are available through the ADA, and most people have a right, except for federal programs, are captioning, sign language interpreters, listening devices, and note takers in education settings, and other things. But here I'm looking at everyday life. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. And if the people don't want to raise their hand who this applies to, so be it. Okay, who here is sporting a mustache? 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter what gender, right? Those of you of the lovely older woman gender, this doesn't apply to you. It doesn't cover your lips, so you can raise your hand for this one. But the second one is, how many people here have trimmed that mustache in the last week? Wow, I'm proud of you. Did you trim it so I could see your upper lip? I forgot that. I didn't put that here. That's the point. Okay. So that's kind of a personal question, and somehow this group, I don't think you mind. And we're smaller, thanks to the weather. Maybe it feels easier. Okay. So this is what I want to say about that. It's kind of a personal question for most people. And I learned from my sister-in-law, who's a retired MSW, maybe it's a boundary violation. I am hard put to suggest to some people that they trim their mustache so I can speech read, otherwise known as lip read, with their upper lip visible along with their lower lip. Yet sometimes the people whose stiff upper lip is covered by their mustache are the same people who get more impatient when I have to ask for more repetition. But not all of them. I'm sure not the people here. When someone is mean, rude, or insensitive to one of these sort of personal requests or micro requests for an accommodation, and are you familiar, you know, that's an ADA term, accommodation, right? All the people who are here with disabilities are shaking their head, and other people too. All right, related to being hard of hearing, I generally act on the surface as if everything is normal and okay. I'm sure some people see through me. But it is not normal or okay. I am acting. I am suppressing the impact of a microaggression. I am staying in my place to avoid contact, to avoid a lot of attention, to ruining the flow of whatever the situation is, to avoid annoying someone. Consider another example. I'm in the audience, not up here. the person speaking up here asks the audience, "You don't need the microphone, do you?" And I just pushed the microphone away. People do that, or they step down and get close, and they're seeking more intimacy with the audience. Now, Alex often has the body-worn mic, so he could have his cake and eat it too. If he wants to come down, he'll still be mic'd. All right, but that's not necessarily the case. So it's not so cool and cozy and intimate if you decide you're not going to use the microphone. But people don't realize that. They're not intentionally being cruel. But all of a sudden, they're icing some people. And there are a lot of people with better hearing than me that rely on the sound field system. They may not need the special adjustments that I need. Okay. So what if when the person asks, "You don't mind if I do that?" What if I just call out from the audience and say, "Yes, I do"? At that moment, I am feeling the vulnerability. I'm walking on a gangplank as if I am emerging from anonymity, invisibility, and perhaps paying a price for visibility. Is that speaking out of turn to do that? And there are situations where it is more, gray area of whether it's socially appropriate. What if I use my cell phone for transcribing or captioning, which I was doing when everybody was speaking? Maybe, and also the group here kindly sent me their talk, so it was written. Maybe you're sitting next to me at the dinner table while I'm using my phone, and sometimes I use this, and this is a Lucite stand, and I can put it in the middle, and this was not made for deaf and hard of hearing people. Probably some people here have this or something like it. It's very handy, and it even has a place so I can charge it also. But in any case, what if I use my cell phone as we speak in real time? Maybe you're sitting next to me at the dinner table, and I shift, moving the phone closer to you. You raise your hand raise your hand in a way of pushing outward. Or you draw your body back and your neck stiffens. You sigh or emit a disgruntled sound and a grimace. The phone is not blocking your face or your vision, but it still is only 5 inches away, which is close. That reaction for me is pushback against my use of an accommodation, in this case, automatic captioning. When I explain the reason, you tell me that you know I am doing it. This happened and recently, and was witnessed by other people at the table. If someone else at the table had just said, "It's a reasonable accommodation, Julian," that would have made all the difference for me. Where am I in my time? Speed things up? Okay. So anyway, these microaggressions help me identify with the microaggressions of so many other identity groups. LGBTQI2S+, and Black, Indigenous, people of color. So I want to say it becomes an education for understanding other people. And now I understand exactly what the people who already spoke said when people say you look good. Because people are always saying to me, "Oh, I don't hear everything either," as if it's the same. And that is, I believe, is the same kind of feeling. Okay, so I'm going to skip a lot here, but I want to say, nevertheless, the conventions and the culture demand that people shut the hell up rather than breach a certain social convention or taboo, such as letting someone know that they aren't being heard by a minority of people. But please consider this. If the hearing majority are not hearing because the microphone is bad, the microphone is noisy, are you going to let that happen for an hour and a half? No, somebody's going to come try to fix it. So it's not like what we want is different than what everybody else wants. It's just we're in the minority. Okay, so I'll skip the other example. I want to recognize that it's good to be diplomatic, not to interrupt, not to call out from the audience most of the time. I get it. And the last thing is, I think it's the last thing, not sure. There is no one size fits all. If you're with someone else who has a hearing loss, do not assume they feel the way I do. It's a good idea to ask, but guess what? Some people want to be invisible, and you'll know very quickly when you ask if they didn't want you to ask. I'm not claiming to speak for other people, even people who have the exact same hearing loss that I have, but then there are so many with very different issues. Okay, so I just want to emphasize the rainbow spectrum of distinctive identities and accommodations are infinite. I always tend to be a hybrid, be it religion, spirit, my hearing. And now to my dismay, I've already run out of time and I can't tell my funny stories. Thank you so much for listening. I have so much more I could share.
Let's see. Oh. Good morning. Oh. I'll just keep it open. Thank you. My name is Lori Hayden, and I have a rare genetic deaf-blind disease called Usher's syndrome. I was born hard of hearing and wore a hearing aid until the late 80s, and then I went on to wearing 2 hearing aids. I started with night blindness in my late teens and was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa, also known as RP, at 20 years old. RP starts with night blindness and then loss of peripheral vision, and then to blindness. Right now I can see my central vision, which is about like this. And I can see the central vision in well-lit places. But sometimes I have trouble recognizing people and their faces. So often when I meet new people, I miss their outstretched hand for a handshake. Luckily, if my husband's with me, he tells me there's a handout. My sister and I both have Usher syndrome, and I have Usher syndrome because both our parents each had a recessive gene. There are no cures, but there are many clinical trials ongoing. I participated in a 5 years RP research study at Mass Eye and Ear, and unfortunately, I had the placebo. I was diagnosed with Usher syndrome in 1993 with genetic testing at Gallaudet University. I started using a white cane in 2003. Same year, I was declared legally blind. Without the white cane, I would get rude looks and remarks for bumping into people, and with a cane, crowds would part like the Red Sea. Going to lectures and movies can be challenging because the speaker moves, which I hope I'm not doing, move their head back and forth on the microphone. Daily hear and I only hear every few words when that happens. Or they have a soft voice and not talking into the microphone. Also hard is when a person is speaking to me while walking away. I can hear the word, but have a hard time comprehending what the words are being spoken. That's why it's important to be face to face with someone who is hard of hearing or even deaf. The words that are, When you're with someone who is visually impaired, ask if there is anything you can do to help. Never grab their arm or their elbow and drag them on. Let them put their arm, their hand on your shoulder or on their arm. And when approaching, touch their arm or their shoulder and introduce yourself. Being in a crowd may be overwhelming, trying to hear and see. It's sensory overload. Sometimes funny things happen. I've had dogs come up and bite the ball of my cane, thinking it's a toy. And one time, a gentleman on a beach thought my white cane was a metal detector. And thank you.
Would you rise in body or in spirit? Join me in singing This Boat, our closing hymn from the virtual hymnal. As we sing, we can remember that this community is a space for all of us. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. We all know hardship, we all know pain, but nothing ventured means nothing gained, and every rainbow needs the rain. You're not alone, try again. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. Even if you've been tempest-tossed, even if you feel that all is lost, you've heard the thunder roar, had a look at heaven's door. If you're sinking like a stone, this boat will carry you home. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, grab an oar. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. In this boat, there's nothing we can do together, no matter the weather. No matter that the charts aren't ours, we will navigate by our stars. This boat is ready, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore.
Those faithful few of you that braved the weather to be here, I invite you now to remain standing and either join hands with your neighbors, or you can outstretch your hands in the sign of please do not touch me. It also might be a bit far for some of us to reach each other, so this can work too. And is this off?
Yeah.
Oh.
We can't hear you.
Well, it must have died. My microphone died. Well, as we are all outstretched here, in the spirit of covenant, community, and commitment, and in the spirit of all of us having a place, may we be made ready to serve one another and create the world we so desperately dream of. Go in peace and pass a little air squeeze or an air 5. Happy Sunday.